Hello and welcome to America's Tribune, the America Rising podcast with host David Rousselet. We're gonna jump right into the chaos in Congress. The Easter edition special. Let's get into it. Okay, everybody. I just wanted to see how many people are up to date on what is going on in the House of Representatives. Absolute chaos. And the chaos could cost the Republicans the House. Yes, the chaos could cost the Republicans the House. How on earth could this be happening? Well, let's take a look. In January, we had the elections and the Republicans took the majority of the House from the Democrats with a very slim majority. The slim majority was a 222 to 213 lead. There's 435 seats. That would allow for four defectors, four people to vote, for Republicans to vote with the Democrats, and the Republicans will still be able to pass a bill. Now, that was in January of 2023. Fast forward to today, there's a very, very slim margin for several reasons. Now, everybody knows that the Kevin McCarthy was selected as Speaker of the House shortly after January 3rd of last year. He was selected after 15 ballot counts on the 7th, 4 days later, on the 7th of January. Now, the very next day, Ben Sasse of Nebraska, he's actually a Republican senator, resigned from his seat. So the Republicans lost a seat in the Senate, but for the Senate, the governor actually gets to appoint the new senator to stand in until the end of the cycle, which will be this November. So in November, they're going to be voting for Sasse's seat. Now, you had also Dianne Feinstein, also a senator, who passed away. She was a Democrat. So the Democrats lost a seat there, but didn't really lose it because their Democrat governor, Gavin Newsom, appointed a Democrat to fill that seat until the special election. Two Senate special elections. Senates get to sit for 6 years. There's two special elections that are going to take place this November, one for Feinstein in California and the other for Sasse in Nebraska. So those two elections really won't swing things one way or another. We have in the Senate right now, you have pretty much almost a split. The Democrats have a bit of a lead over the Republicans because they have three independent Democrats. There's actually 48 Democrats to 49 Republicans with three what's called independent Democrats. And those independent Democrats, that would be Kristen Sinema, it would be Bernie Sanders, and another gentleman from Maine. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, those three are independent Democrats who can go with the Democrats and may not go with the Democrats, but 90% of the time they're voting with the Democrats, except when we saw Kristen Sinema go against them. So that's the Senate, though. Let's talk about the House and what's been going on with the House of Representatives. Oh, the other gentleman was August King of Maine. He's the other independent Democrat senator. So you have 48 to 49 plus three independent Democrats, which could push that over. Even if the Republicans are able to pick up another Senate seat, the tie vote is going to go to the vice president. So if the Republicans pick up another Senate seat in these special elections, you could see Donald Trump, if Donald Trump gets elected, his vice president would be the deciding vote for any splits in the Senate, which, if you have those independents, which could go either way, Kristen Sinema sometimes voting with Republicans, Bernie Sanders not so much, but Bernie Sanders has got the shaft from the Democrat Party for quite some time now, and is probably the reason when he got shafted by the DNC in the 2016 election, it's probably the reason why Hillary Clinton lost, because a lot of people who were for Bernie Sanders did not come out and vote for Hillary Clinton. But so in the House of Representatives, we've had Kevin McCarthy, okay, when he was ousted from the speakership, and he was I believe he was the first speaker ever to be, given the boot. But when he got the boot, he then said that he was going to resign at the end of the year, which he did. So McCarthy resigned from his seat. So the Republicans went from 222 to 213. McCarthy resigns. Now they're down to 221. In that 221, there has to be a special election, and that special election will fill that seat. So now there's Kevin McCarthy, who walked away. Everybody knows about George Santos over in New York. George Santos was a Republican. He got expelled because he lied. Now, this is a guy who actually won his, somehow, by lying to everybody, I guess, but won his election in an area that was Democrat, mostly Democrat, by about 8 points. And he actually won that district by about 8 points himself. Anyway, he got rejected expelled out of that seat, and they held a special election, and another Republican did not win. So the Democrats gained a seat in the Republican race, for the Republican seat, for George Santos' seat. So when the Democrats gained a seat, they also lost one. And they lost one because one of their guys, a guy named Brian Higgins, decided he was going to walk away. So the Democrats went, when Higgins decided he was going to walk away, they went down to 212. And then when they won Santos' seat, they went back up to 213. Now, ultimately, they gained a seat because they won a special election that was previously red, and they turned it blue. So they actually picked up a seat. Now, Higgins is also going to have a special election, but that's not all. You see, Bill Johnson, also a Republican, he's walking away. Bill Johnson, Republican of Ohio, resigned from his House seat, and that drops Republicans down, with McCarthy out, with Santos out, from 222 down to 220. Johnson walking away drops them down to 219, and now they hold a 219 to 213 lead over the Democrats, with 3 seats vacant, 3 seats waiting for special elections. Now, with that, and this was as of January 21st, with that, the Republicans can only afford 2 defectors. If they put a bill forward, they can only afford for 2 of their people to vote with the Democrats against a bill for it not to pass. If they have more than 2 people vote with the Democrats, their bill will not pass, which is exactly what happened with the first round of the Mayorkas impeachment. The second round, they picked up a vote, one of their own votes that should have been with them. Now, if you look over in the Democrats' side, they're united. You know, the Republicans, you have the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, absolute piece of garbage for what he just did with the omnibus. Completely backstabbed every single Republican, completely backstabbed everybody who put him up there who voted for him, and all the things that he said he was going to do to make sure that got done as the Speaker of the House, he just completely threw it all out the window and passed through that massive omnibus spending bill that is sending money all over the place. Money, the United States does not have money. We're borrowing it all. Borrow, borrow, borrow. Our national debt is absolutely insane right now. Anyway, so you have Bill Johnson in Ohio who resigned, giving the Republicans a very slim lead at 219 to 213. And the special elections that are being held, you have several of them coming up in June. But then you have another gentleman, Ken Buck of Colorado, who announces that he's walking away, Republican in Colorado. Now, Ken Buck announces he's walking away, which also prompts another special election. And then you also have Mike Gallagher. Mike Gallagher announces that he's walking away, also a Republican. Mike Gallagher is Wisconsin. His resignation date is extremely important because he just announced that he's going to be walking away from his seat. But he gave a left hook to the Republicans and pretty much gave them the finger by saying that, okay, I'm going to walk away from my seat, but I'm not doing it until the 19th. Why did he say that? For anybody that doesn't know, Wisconsin, which is his state, Wisconsin has a deadline for resignations. That deadline is the second Tuesday in April. He specifically set his for the third Tuesday in April. Why? Because after that deadline, if he walks away from his seat, there is no special election. The Republicans just lose the seat. They no longer have that seat. On the other side of it, the Democrats can also not win that seat. But the Republicans holding on to this slim majority with Gallagher walking away on the 19th, pretty much poking them in the eye saying, yeah, I'm walking away and you're not going to be able to fill my seat until next year. So that brings them down even more. Now, because Mike Johnson pushed that omnibus through, he enraged all of the MAGA Republicans in the House, and Marjorie Taylor Greene led the charge and called for him to be taken out as Speaker. And when they do this, now the Democrats, remember, the Democrats are completely united, and they're completely united behind Hakeem Jeffries. So Hakeem Jeffries is going to get every single one of the Democrat votes. Now, who are the Republicans going to put up? Can the Republicans, do they have anybody that they can agree on? And remember, they only have two right now. When this goes to vote, 2 Republicans. If 2 Republicans vote with the Democrats for Hakeem Jeffries, guess who becomes the Speaker of the House? Hakeem Jeffries. Now, what are the odds of that happening? If we have too many of these Republicans getting frustrated because of what's going on, all this chaos going on in Congress right now, where Republicans, conservatives, are not being very conservative. They're not doing what we, the people, put them there for. Now, we, the people, we elected a Congress that is Republican. Yet, right now, the Democrats are looking at flipping the House mid-term. And what would that mean? As Speaker of the House, if Jeffries became Speaker of the House and a bill gets put up to, let's say, get Donald Trump taken off of the ballots, which is exactly what the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court said you, as the Secretary of State, cannot take Donald Trump off the ballots saying that it's because of an insurrection. The only people that can do that is Congress. So they kicked that over to Congress, knowing that the Republicans control Congress, but if Hakeem Jeffries takes control of the House, he would put forward a bill to have Donald Trump removed, and all he would need is 2 Republicans to vote with the Democrats to have Donald Trump taken off of the ballots for this coming election. If that happens, what are the people going to do about it? Are the people going to sit there and take it? Are they going to be like, throw their hands in the air and be like, oh, okay, they won? We've seen lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit coming on this guy. Their entire plan, their game plan is not to pump up Joe Biden. It's not to tell us how great Joe Biden is. Their game plan is to try to bankrupt their political opponent with frivolous lawsuits of which they've won none, 0. Everybody's like, oh, he got the rape charge. No, he didn't get a rape charge. If he got a rape charge, he'd be in jail, people. He didn't get a rape charge. The rape never happened. I'm going to do a whole piece on that as well. For all those Democrats out there who like to say, oh, Donald Trump was he's a rape. He raped people. He's a raper, a rapist. He's not. And the case that went to civil court, that case also is going to appeal. And I'll tell you what, the interviews that she's done, which I'm going to show in the next piece, the interviews that she's done, it looks like he's going to win that one hands down as well. All of these cases, the case in New York with Letitia James, that case, that's going to get thrown out. All of these cases are getting thrown out. And all it's doing, all they've done is exposed their Nazi tactics. Yes, Nazi tactics. For those of you that don't know history, Adolf Hitler took power because of his attacking of the Reichstag, his own political building. And then he blamed it on his opponent and used that to go after them with all kinds of different lawsuits. And he put them all in prison or had them killed. Think about that. That's how Hitler took power. That is what we call Nazism. That's what we call fascism. This is the exact play that not just the Democrats are using, the entire left. When I say the entire left, go down to Brazil. I did a whole piece on that. Go check it out. The piece that we did on Brazil with Bolsonaro down there. They're doing the exact same thing to him. They attacked their Capitol buildings. They attacked their Supreme Court. Bolsonaro was in Florida while it was happening. And then they try to bring charges on him. For what? Insurrection. Same exact play. Insurrection. Same exact play that they're running against Donald Trump, they're running in other countries. This is not the Democrats. This is the left as a whole. This is this global movement to put every single person under this system. And what is the system? It's socialist. It's communist. They want to get rid of everything that makes this country so great. Look at what they're doing at the borders, allowing all of these people to flood in here for what? For what? For a census. It's all about the census, the 435 House members, so that they can, what the census does is it allocates, it's called congressional apportionment. It actually allocates all the representatives for different areas based on population. So an area that increases in population and an area that decreases in population, they'll take a representative from the area that decreases and give it to the area that increases. And what they're doing is they're flooding all the Democrat voting areas with as many heads as they possibly can. Now, It's backfiring on them. How is it backfiring on them? Because all of these areas that they're flooding these people in, all of these areas are now super ridden with crime. People are getting shot on the subways. It got so bad in New York, right? The crime is so horrible in New York that they had to deploy the National Guard. And you got the guard, you have military walking around to try to protect people from all the stuff that's going on. Why? For a census, so that they can control the House of Representatives. That's what this is all about. They'll have control for 10 years until the next census. Everything that we're seeing. Now, if the Republicans don't get their shit together, if they don't get their shit together and get somebody into the House of Representatives to run the House of Representatives that's going to run it the right way, the way that we the people expect it to be run, stop passing through these omnibus bills that are giving money to anybody and everybody. And what on earth, where did all the conservatives go? All we have here, everything that we're looking at right now, all we have in Congress is this uniparty. And the uniparty is this party of the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex that is funding these politicians, their campaigns, so that when they get elected, they'll vote for all kinds of money for war in Ukraine, for war in Israel, for war everywhere and anywhere. Why? Because when we send money to Ukraine, Ukraine takes that money and sends a lot of it back to us to buy weapons from these corporations. That then all that money that comes back to buy these to this corporation to buy the weapons, the corporation takes a percentage of that money and gives it to the people that are voting for the war. This is what's destroying countries right now. This is what America has become. And it's not Democrats, it's not Republicans, it's these people who are not for the people. These people who are getting elected on lies. George Bush was one of them. Joe Biden is one of them. The reason why so many people are against Donald Trump and why the media has been initiated against Donald Trump is because all of these interests in this war machine, Donald Trump is exposing everything that's going on with these people. He's exposing the fake media, the fake news. He's showing how all of the things that they're saying are complete lies. They're there for one reason and one reason only: to get you to believe what they say. If you don't know about Operation Mockingbird, you should probably go look it up. It was the CIA back in the days of MK Ultra, back when Alan Dulles ran the CIA. And this operation was to take CIA agents and infiltrate Hollywood, infiltrate the news media, infiltrate the newspapers, infiltrate any single thing Disney, anything that can influence how people think. They wanted to control the narrative, and they've done it. That's where we are today. And all of you people that are repeating all the stuff that you're hearing on MSNBC or Fox News or CNN, absolute garbage. It's lies. All of it. You're being manipulated. And so many people have woken up to this. Is it any wonder why the people who are telling the truth on these networks that get fired? Tucker Carlson gets fired from Fox News for telling truths. And Fox News is in trouble for some of the things that he was saying on there because they want to sue. And when they're suing, they're like, okay, now you got to prove it. You got to prove that what he was saying was real. If he's talking about the election being rigged, now he's got to prove it. The election was rigged. There's plenty of evidence to prove it. Plenty. How is Fox News going to get their hands on all that stuff? The elections, there is so many things. And now, even in the primaries for the Democrats, they're using those same cheating tactics against each other. And they're exposing each other. There's all kinds of elections going on that are being redone. People getting thrown in prison. They're all Democrats. They're all doing the same thing that was done in the 2020 election and the 2022 elections. Same exact things. Only now, because it's later, now these people are being prosecuted. Amazing. Why weren't they prosecuted in the 2020 election? Oh, yeah, that's right, because it was the safest election. We posted a video on all the social media channels about a woman in, it was Ohio, where CNN just happened to be doing a special on a Dropbox, and here's a woman. They walk over to the woman, and what is she doing? She's dropping ballot after ballot after ballot into the Dropbox. Now, I went and looked up Ohio's rules, and guess what? Guess what's illegal there? Ballot harvesting. They had her on camera illegally putting all of these ballots into the Dropbox. And the camera quickly pulls away like, oh, whoops, we didn't mean to show you that. And there were actually a couple of social media networks that deleted that video. I wonder why. You look at Facebook right now and Instagram. Instagram, if you guys don't know, Instagram, right now you have to go into your settings. Instagram made a specific thing for the election coming up. Specifically for politics. If you don't do this, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to be up to date on anything going on, coming out from anybody doing anything on politics. Unless you change this setting, and they defaulted the setting to no politics for this specific election. Why? Because they know that Joe Biden is about to get wiped out. Donald Trump is way up in the polls. All the people are out there. He's going to get, myself, I'm Hispanic. He's going to get a huge portion of the Hispanic vote. Everybody I know is voting for him. For the black vote, he's going to get more votes from the black vote of any Republican in recent history. Now, the Democrats right now are in huge trouble because Genocide Joe... Genocide Joe right now has his party completely split. And one of the problems they're having is that he's not going to get the young votes. He's not going to get the college kids. Why? Because the college kids right now are protesting against him. They're protesting against him and the war going on with Israel right now. Why? Because the young kids have been brainwashed into believing that Hamas is the good guy. They obviously were not alive for 9/11. Not that Hamas was in existence for 9/11. Hamas came shortly thereafter, but the people in Gaza were celebrating when 9/11 happened. Same people. Same people. Anyway, you got to pay attention to the primaries that are coming up. I'm going to show you guys a little thing of what's coming up here. Hang on one second. Camera 2. Bam. So, big days coming up. California's with Kevin McCarthy walking out. Here we have, looks like May 21st is going to be a big day because the special election for the seat vacated by Kevin McCarthy is going to happen. But the Republicans have a 34-point lead in that district. So that's a good thing. They probably won't lose that seat. New York, remember I said Brian Higgins walked away. Brian Higgins, his seat will probably be won by a Democrat because it's in a Democrat that is, they control that district by about 28 points. Now, George Santos, you can see George Santos actually lost here to Tom Suozzi. He was a former politician over there as well. And you can see that this district, this election was a special election. They're going to have to vote for another they're going to have to vote again on this in November. So this district is very close and can go either way. So the Republicans come November could pick this area up if they put forth a decent candidate, which would be good to get that seat back. Then we have Bill Johnson. So Ohio will be holding their special election on June 11th, and the Republicans, control that area as well. So that should stay red. So the danger isn't quite there with the as far as the Democrats getting the majority, but what the issue really is if just two Republicans defect to Hakeem Jeffries, then Jeffries can take control of the House and put forward a bill that would ban Donald Trump from being on the ballot. So pay attention to all those dates coming up. One other one, the one really strange thing, the governor of Colorado. The governor of Colorado thought it would be a good idea to do the special election on June 25th, the same day as the Colorado primaries. Now, why is that confusing? Well, it's confusing because the district that Ken Buck left, I think that was Ken Buck. Yes, Ken Buck. The district that Ken Buck left when he walked away, that district, he was going to walk away at the end of the year, but said he's going to walk away early. Lauren Boebert she wanted to take his position at the end of the year. So she was actually running for that district that Ken Buck was in for next year, for the next term. So everybody was wondering, okay, where he's vacating early, is she going to run for that election, which would be horrible because that would open up her seat. And if it opens up her seat, she barely won in her district. That's why she's going to Ken Buck's district, because Ken Buck's district is heavy Republican. So if she changes districts and she wins in those primaries, then she has a much better chance of staying in Congress. Now, here's the problem. The special election and the Colorado primaries for that same district take place on the same day. So they're going to see, all the voters are going to be confused because they're going to be voting for the same district twice. Once they're going to be voting for the special election for who's going to take the seat from June 25th all the way up to January 3rd. And in the second one, the Colorado primaries, they're going to be voting for the Republican person who is going to run against the Democrat to see who's going to take the seat after January 3rd. So voters are going to go and they're going to see two elections, one a special election, one a primary, and they're going to be voting to see who is going to win that district for two different time frames. It's confusing trying to explain it, let alone if I was going in to vote on these things. I don't know if when they go in, if they're going to get two ballots, one for the primaries, and also they're going to have to vote twice. They're going to have to vote once for the primaries. If they're Republicans, they're going to have to vote once for the primaries and once in the special election. For the Democrats, they're going to have to vote for the Democrat primaries and then once for the special election. So everybody's going to be voting twice on the 25th. I hope everybody knows that in Colorado in that particular district. That is nuts. Why would he do it on the same day? Maybe that'll be better. Who knows? But it's definitely confusing. Anyway, let me know what you think. Write in the comments below. Check us out. If you don't already subscribe to our channel, please subscribe. Please like. Please share this out to as many people as you can. Thank you for your support. And we're going to keep on keeping on trying to do this research for you, get this information out to you as quick as we can. And I know I do read the comments, and yes, I do speak kind of slow sometimes. And the reason, probably one of the reasons why I was thinking about it, probably one of the reasons why I speak so slow, and I am trying to speed it up. But you can go down to the bottom and click. There's a little settings thing, and you can put 1.25 times the speed, and you can hear me like I'm an actual person, I guess, if that makes any sense. But you can hear me sped up. Today I had a lot of caffeine, so I'm hoping I spoke a little bit faster. But probably one of the reasons why I speak so slow is because most of the people that I'm around, English is the second language for them. So when I'm speaking with them, I have to slow down my speech and try to pronounce the words better so they can understand them. So that's probably, and I've been doing this for years now, so it's kind of become part of my my speech. So that's probably why I sound like I'm speaking slower. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in. If you're still here listening to this, awesome. But all right, I'm going to cut out because I got 2 more pieces that I want to get out there. Check this out. Check out our next piece. And God bless, people. Thank you.